Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to our happy hour here for Let 'em Run. We're happy to be here, so happy to be here because it is a huge weekend coming up in so many ways. John, you know it, right? This
I
weekend,
see you got your green on already, so you're ready in that
got
mode.
my green on. I
Yeah,
got my beret. Look at all the super nice pins you get when you hang around with all the Irish guys. You get these pins.
big day
Wearing the
tomorrow.
red.
50 degrees and sunny. It'll be a nice brisk March day out there.
That's all we need. If it's not raining, uh, then we're good to go. That's what I'm excited about because I've been doing this for 10, 11 years, and couple times, it's been 32, 34 degrees. Yes, people will be out there. Yes, we will be there. It's not as much fun. So, we're looking forward to it. Tomorrow's a big day. It's going to be a nice day. Today, John and I are going to talk about races at Colonial Downs tomorrow. Tomorrow, Colonial Downs, I looked at the weather. It's going to be like 60 degrees and sunny and nice. So we should have a very good day of racing down there to check it out. John, just let's do a little housekeeping before we jump into some things. Any update on J.K. Strong and the claim of foul that was, well, I don't know if that's the right term to use, the claim of foul, but the drug test failed for the horse that won, and your horse, JK, was put up, or at least that's how it's been since last time we talked. Has there been any more information?
No, it has not been finalized yet. I mean, it's still undergoing, and whether Michael Pino is going to appeal it or challenge it, then it would be another 30 days or something before it becomes official. With that being said, we're still a maiden, so we are running Tuesday in a maiden race. The same race we just ran. We're cutting back to 6.5 furlongs, which is, I think, ideal distance. The lowest speed in the race. I looked at that Equine Edge today, and it's the lowest speed.
Okay,
2-1
great.
favorite. So it'd be great if we could get a win as a maiden there, and then they make it official and we break our maiden twice. So
the river. What's the name of your stable?
on the river.
On the river could be making history here, having a maiden win race twice. Could be history,
Win two
John.
maiden races. I don't know how many times it's been done. I'll have to do the research, but that is fun to be
you
part of.
and your teammates may be getting interviewed for history being made here. So anyway, so we're going to talk about the late pick 5 at Colonial Downs, which begins with race 6. What's interesting about Colonial Downs, John, and maybe you already knew about this, but I saw they have a pick 5 or pick 6. It's called the Old Dominion Pick 6. 50 cents, which cuts out a lot of people of the 20-cent rainbow type pick 6. Again, nice, fun to play them, especially if they're mandatory. It's a 15% takeout. Have you ever played it or familiar with it?
No, I haven't played it. The pick 5s are so much more appealing at Colonial, even all summer when they have the big fields and the turf racing. I mean, they're 12% takeout on their pick 5s.
Oh, 12%. Okay,
12%.
That's even better. That's
even
beautiful.
better for pick 5. So with the full fields and the turf racing there, you definitely want to consider Colonial on your and support that bet because 12% takeout, nobody's that low.
I think you're right. Absolutely. No, you're right. 12% is amazing because that makes a big difference. To take even 50%, 15% is good.
It's
as
still
well.
great. I mean, that's the Sunset 6 and the Coast to Coast, which is $1 minimum. And it's a 15% takeout with no CAWs. It's just retail only. So that is a great bet this afternoon, which I'm going to dabble with the Sunset, actually the Coast to Coast, which I got tickets.
So you're going to dabble, John, even on Friday the 13th. You're unfazed by that.
Well, I may be lucky, and if I don't place a bet, you'll never know if you're lucky or not.
Well, let's hope. Well, today, for you this afternoon, for tomorrow, for our pick 5 picks, and everything else. I prayed that the luck of the Irish is all of us, and we'll talk about that as we go along. So, okay, let's talk about the races, John. Our on the bottom, John and I have our pick 6, or sorry, our pick 5, starting with race 6, scrolling along, so you can check that out. We're going to go through the first 2 races and just talk about the horses that we like, and you can see on the bottom which horses we like. John, I'll go first in this race. I really only look at it in 2 horses. I kind of went with the 3 and the 7. The 3 I love. 5-2. I think the horse has won four out of 8 lifetimes races, so it's still got a lot of upside. I think only the 3 and the 7 have been in graded stakes races consistently, so I think they're also the class of the field. I think the horse with Victor Espinoza coming in, the 3 horse I'm talking about, running away with an only mount and staying on that horse again is a big plus. The last race that was in, kind of the worst race it had in a while, against Fiona Candy Quest. So I think that horse was just up against it. Although the horse kept pace early on with those horses and then died back. Now we're going to dirt. Guess what? Trainer Wesley Ward, 40% going from turf to dirt, when this horse is clearly going from turf to dirt again. Last time it went to from turf to dirt, it wins. This time it's going from turf to dirt again. I predict a big win for the 3. I also like the 7 briefly because, again, Johnny Velasquez on this horse. Again, dropping in class. This horse a few races ago in the Fairground Oaks race ran against Good Cheer. I think this horse is working out really well for the return. Riley Ma is a trainer who certainly has, if you want to talk about trainers who have breeding, he's a trainer who has pretty good breeding, if you ask me, John. So those are the 2 horses that I put on my ticket, the 3 to 7. John, talk about your horses.
Yeah, I didn't really trust anybody fully here, but I do like the 3. I got him as the lone speed coming out of the graded races, turf to dirt, turning back to a 1-turn mile. Should really hit him between the eyes here, and hopefully at least second choice. The 1 horse, so darn tough, 8 out of its last 9, and his only loss came,
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking a shot against a horse. I could pay for that, but we'll see.
But still, it's a mile, and they're all 6 and 7 furlong races. So with this 1-turn mile, he did win it at Colonial. I think the 1-turn mile back at the beginning, made in special weight, he just missed there. Got beat by Reply back in the day. So this 1-turn mile, he should be able to stretch it out. Main contender for sure. I do like your 7 coming out of the graded races. Also going to throw in the Brad Cox horse, and Ortiz was listed to ride, but I don't know who the replacement rider
that's a good point. He's off all his mounts due to soreness. His agent said he just wants a little time to rest up. So that's going to be information we're going to get tomorrow. Who is taking the mounts for Irad Ortiz? So stay tuned tomorrow at 11:30. Our special time tomorrow, due to the St. Patrick's Day parade, will be on at 11:30.
Yep, and then also maybe a long shot. I'm going to throw the Michael Stidham horse in Toledo. 12-1, coming off a long layoff. It's his 4th time back, turning back a little in distance. Maybe, as a surprise or something. But, I'm going to go 5 deep to get out of this race because I got, a stronger opinion later on.
Yep. Okay.
Moving on to the 7th race.
7th race.
I'll start with this one. The 7th race, the first, the stake race here, actually the second one, the Sandy Bottom, 100,000, 1 mile. This one is for the fillies and mares. And originally I was thinking the 6, was almost a single, and then I wanted to throw in the 7 as, a little bit of a backup. The more I looked at it, I did, text Fred back and said, I just don't trust his favor. I mean, we know he's got to go, from the rail, from the 6 hole. He's got to get out there and try to wire him. So, and there's enough, I think the 3 might be quicker. So if the 3 gets the lead and the 6 has to stalk him, he did show, 3 back that he can stalk and, still win. But it's not like his buyers are so much better on a consistent basis. He's up there and he deserves like the favor, but at 6-5, I think there's room for, trying to beat him. 7 would be my second pick. I was originally 6-7, but after looking at the race and not trusting the 6, I would throw in the 3 to get the lead and maybe keep going. The 1, Queen Azteca, I always liked her, in those stake races. Long shot, Miss Authentic, the authentic, filly for Eddie Keneally and John Velasquez. Looks like an in and outer, and every other race wins, runs a good one. And so if you look at that pattern, 2 back wins, 4 back wins, 6 back wins, 8 back second by a head, 10 back wins. So needs a race in between. So this could be a good spot at 10-1. So absolutely. I have to include that one. I'll go 5 deep again.
Yeah, I went 4 deep. I mean, the 1, 6, 7 are our common horses. I also like the 2. I love Brittany Russell and Sheldon Russell when they get together. The horse is going to have to step up a little clearly, but it's the first time Brittany Russell is putting Sheldon Russell on this horse.
She just got the horse. This is her first start.
She just got the horse. Okay, well, that's even better. Third off the layoff. Yeah, she was previously trained by Thomas Amos and David Jacobs and Michelle Lavelle. Obviously, when they're together, they hook up at 31%. And the second start with Brittany Russell hits at 29%. Again, the horse is going to have to step up in class in terms of speed. Buyer speed figures, no doubt. I think it can be a player, and that's why I include that horse. So our tickets for the second leg, John, are pretty similar. Again, you made your cases for your two horses, the 3 and the 5. We both like the 1, 6, and the 7. I threw the 2 in there. Talk about the common ticket, which is something we always talk about at the end real quick. Okay, so we're going to take a deep dive into these next 2 races. The 8th race is the Virginia Oaks. Currently, prior to any scratches, a field of 6. So it's a small field. There are some, obviously, there are some very good horses in here. A lot of people are probably going to single the 1, Dazzling Dame. I am not singling the 1 on my ticket. I put the 1, the 2, and the 3 in our article. In the article that just went up on Florida Sports Talk, which has a link to this show. Hopefully, if anybody's watching it from Florida Sports Talk, thank you for joining us. We appreciate that. Sean Miller with Let Him Run, of course, is part of our program. Sean handles all those articles that are printed on Florida Sports Talk and also with the Sports Talk Media Network. So I like the 1, 2, 3 hit parade. I think, again, Irad was on that horse listed. Who knows who's going to be on him? I don't know what happened the last time out in this race. I mean, the horse just made a middle move, maybe too soon, and came in 5th, lost by 6 lengths. Not sure what happened there, but I think that horse can bounce back. The 3 Battlefields, again, you didn't trust it 6 to 5. I understand why. That horse is the number 1 prime power. Tremendous numbers in terms of percentage. Of course, Bob Baffert's going to give that to you. Flavian Pratt's on him. Plus 10 prime power gives that horse an edge. So I'm using it, I use your word, defensively, but I'd like to see, for me, I like the 2 or 3 could possibly, the 1 or 2 could possibly hit the board, John. Well, hopefully.
All right, I thought we were doing a deep dive here, and you're going to just deep dive yourself. You could just finish the field, Fred. Nobody wants to hear me anyway. You could deep dive. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, John. Go ahead. Dazzling Dame, the number 1, 5 to 2. Your turn. Go ahead. I talked to my horse already.
All right. Dazzling Dame, I was there that day at Aqueduct live, and I was in a contest and made a nice contest play on her, and she did not disappoint. I mean, she was, really good that day. 2 Bits, who she beat, came back to win the next race, and, that was, that held up pretty good. She's getting better and better with her buyers, all along. Now off the short, freshening. And Brittany Russell is 11 for 22 off her last dirt runners.
Yeah.
So, she's running at 50% right now. Her barn's clicking. Lone Speed, I'm worried about the 4, how much Johnny Velasquez, if he decides to gun out there and then, put Dazzling Dame in a position to either go on or maybe take back and then come on the outside. But if Johnny V takes back and sits, second, then Dazzling Dame can get this 1.16 1 turn. And I would see her out there, lone lead. Then we move on to the 2 Fred started with. This here, a little easier spot. The last race, I don't know what to do with that Martha Washington. That was, kind of, weird. The top 4 in that race, I didn't want to, no parts of them. The big favorite finished 8th in that race. It was like 1 to 5 shot. Hit Parade really, was up there, made a middle move a little bit, flattened out. So if you could excuse that Washington, Mount Washington, if you could excuse it, put a line through it, definitely a competitor here. Somebody that could sit off the pace, and the 2 and the 3 should get, dream trips if Dazzling Dame comes back to the field. I would use defensively, but for my ticket purposes, I had a single somewhere, and Dazzling Dame, Lone Speed on the rail is where I came up with. But Hit Parade is definitely a contender.
Okay, and then so Battle of Rouge, how do you feel about that horse? I mean,
Battle of Rouge going to take all this money. Baffert, when he was first time off the slight layoff at Sunderland, should have been disqualified. There wasn't even an inquiry, which Twitter, X was up in up in arms that they didn't even look at it. I mean, he swerved over 3 pass, cut off the third place finisher who was making a rally, which makes me think that maybe she doesn't want this distance. But it is a 1-turn mile and a 16, so that a 2-turn mile.
Yeah, that's kind of strange. Yeah,
I would have never taken her one
yeah.
turn, but 6-5, definitely worth beating. I don't even know if she wants a mile and a 16th at all. The last time she ran it, she basically did nothing in it except juvenile filly. But Super Corridor Explorer, I mean, you're up against the big time ones there.
Players, yeah, absolutely.
Second time back off the layoff for Baffert. Distance is the question mark at the low odds, maybe 6-5, even money. Not my kind of horse. I'm going to just try to get out with the 1, hopefully, 9-5 and, move on.
Yeah. Okay. So how about we'll talk about number 4. You talked about number 4 already. Cadaver, you were worried about that horse going out with the 1. I can see that happening because I think that's the only chance this horse has. The horse always tends to run a good race, stretching out a little more each time, 4.5, 5, 6.5 mile, 40 mile 16th now. Not sure if that's a 1-turn race at Tampa or not at a mile 40, but certainly that horse is probably going to be a pace factor, like you said. They're the only 2 E's in the race, according to BRISnet.com. The 4 is an E8, the 1 is an E7, so they're both going to get out. The 4 may, like you said, get out with JV in the saddle for the first time. 3rd off the layoff, may have a shot. So anything else to say about the 4?
No, working out gangbusters, all bullet workouts, the last, 5 workouts. The horse should be able to get the distance. That was a 2-turn race.
Okay.
It's cut back to a 1-turn, which I love. It's out of the family of Pretty Discreet, who was the Alabama winner back in Saratoga a few years ago. So it's coming from that family who can get the distance. That was a 1.25 miles. So now this horse lightly raced, a little bit to prove, has to really, step up. And with the 1 in the race, either hounding him or on the lead and chasing the 1 might make this one, tough on the win end, but this one will have a large say in the outcome of how this race finalizes.
Absolutely.
Moving on, number 5, some money to love here. Very slow. The win last week, a 59 buyer at Parks came with a Lasix. Now back to no Lasix.
Right.
Throw that race out with the Lasix, and the buyers are just in the 40s. Really can't see that horse at all.
I agree. I mean, the trainer from going from sprint to route also 27 times hasn't won once, so not a strong play for the trainer to do that as well. The last horse in the race, number 6, Baffle, Todd Pletcher horse, also looks like a closer. Last couple races didn't run too well. Still actually a maiden, which is interesting. We've seen that happen through a lot of these prep races. The maidens are dropped in these races to see what's happened. 10-1 morning line. Rod Marah not getting back on horse, getting on the horse for the first time. There was certainly up against it last time out. Came in 5th, lost by 10. I don't see this horse. I mean, certainly 10-1 morning line is the highest. Well, no, somebody to love is 20-1, but this horse probably should have been 20-1 as well, in my opinion.
Exactly right. That's what I was just going to say. It should be 20-1. I don't see, what Pletcher's putting it in this race. The only thing I can see is that if he sends the 4 Cadabra with Velasquez and he's got a closer, maybe this is the only eligible 3-year-old filly that maybe showed some closing. But she had races in the maiden special weights at the 1-turn Aqueduct Miles there, and really should have been, coming on a little bit more or higher buyers. But I just think it's too slow. And, you're going to get somebody that's going to be the 2 or the 3 closer to the pace if it collapses. And I don't think the 6 is going to circle and beat, the 2 and 3 with perfect trips.
I don't think so either.
So 1, 2, 3, and the 4 could be the wild card. But to get out of the race, I got a single somewhere, so I'm going to take a shot with the 1. And you're going to go 3 deep with 1, 2, 3, all the contenders.
Yep.
All right, moving on. The Virginia Derby, the race that gave the day its name. So 10 horses, pretty competitive and pretty interesting here. And it is a
Oh, yeah.
mile and an eighth, one turn. There ain't many mile and an eighth configurations that are one turn, anywhere in the country.
That's very unique. Very
unique for here. So Colonial, the one turn, so maybe the speed could carry a little further. We're going to start with the one butane, Bob Baffert, 5-2, likely will be in the 6-5, 7-5 range. Mile and an eighth, I could see maybe being a little too far for this horse. It is the lone speed coming out of the the strength of race. The last two has been definitely.
Sure.
Baffert is 8 for his last 23 on third time off the layoff, and that's this horse fits. And what do I have a note in here? Hung around. I don't even know. I wrote some kind of note in there, hung around or something, but just last race, Silent Tactic came from the clouds. Little Soldier Diplomat came from off it. This horse was one of the pace factors that was up there that stuck around. Everybody else, folded up. So if you look at that, maybe that can help him. But I don't know. All the money he's going to take, plus so many question marks, I'll use defensively, but not my top pick if I'm playing this race individually.
No, I've listen. We've seen in all these Derby prep races that there have been some craziness, some chaos, some horses that you didn't expect win. Whether they become Derby monsters or not, we don't know. But in terms of this race, and like we said, or like I said, we said, I think this is a race, this particular race in the sequence that you need to go deep. You went 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I went 1, 2, 5, 7, 8. I like the one defensively plus 15 and BRISnet.com. Prime Power, got to be something you already mentioned. Second off or third off the layoff. How Bob Baffert hits. 5-2 morning line. That kind of baffles me a little bit. I thought that horse with that kind of pedigree, and then Bob Baffert as the trainer, and Flavian Pratt on board, that horse should have been at least 8-5.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, number 2, grittiness. I like this horse. This horse is a horse I use that does a different on our ticket, I think, a little bit. One of the only few differences. It's got the highest late pace figure. I think changing to Moraga is a big change for Todd Pletcher. Doesn't use him very often, but he's a sneaky jockey who can win. And then looking at some of the information that BRISnet provides, he rides in route races very well. Again, a one-turn route race, he's going to have to speed it up a little bit out of the gate to stay on top of the horses. He got beat, just beat by Talk to Me Jimmy, who won the Withers a couple of weeks or about a month ago. And that horse certainly is probably going to be in the Derby. I think this horse has a chance as a long shot, and I'm using him in my ticket.
Yeah, I think it's a good under horse. I don't know if I could see it. You said just got beat. 11 lengths, just got beat. So I don't think that's a close one, but
I didn't mean Justin. I didn't mean just. I mean just recently.
His last race, yes, not just got beat, but yeah. Okay.
Not by a neck.
Play on words there, but yeah, somebody that could definitely close and maybe round out a try or a super. Turning back off of 2 mile and 1/8 races. Nobody's even had a mile and 1/8 race here yet. I don't think this one already ran the 2 turns cutting back. So, I mean, that speed, that closing late pace of 109 I see right here is, definitely interesting and could definitely come flying when everybody else is staggering and pick up the pieces. Who knows that, 18-1, maybe just run by them all. You don't know, but definitely an interesting maiden put in this spot. A little slow on figures at this particular time, but we'll have to take a step up. Second off the layoff and second race as a 3-year-old. Epic Desire here for Pletcher. After off the turf, they, broke the maiden. Sammy Davis race just really did nothing in that Sammy Davis. Even though it was 32-1, I thought, he was going to run a little better. He did increase the buyer. The buyer has gone up every single start of this horse's life, which I love to see as a, developing 3-year-old. So
good angle. Yeah.
Can take a step forward. And if it turns in an 85 or something, puts him right there. And Sheldon Russell picks up the mount for Pletcher, which is pretty, pretty not often that happens.
Yeah, really.
So, we'll see where that goes there, but he'd have to, show me, that he can overcome that Sammy Davis when he got thrown into the stakes water, that he's, better than, a 5th place finish.
Yeah, I had to use this horse on my ticket. I don't see him being used underneath on any exotic bets like Zactas, etc. If you want to make them, but that horse is a pass for me. Going to the number 4 horse, Work. Mikel Sanchez, Parks rider, getting on
Yeah.
getting on board for Doug O'Neill, for the Santa Anita horse, a West Coast horse. Interesting. Not sure this horse has a whole lot to offer in terms of value. Might be, I'm sure Mikel Sanchez, you know better than I do, John, is certainly a jockey who get a horse out. I think that's all he's going to try and do with this horse. A couple of the races that this horse has been in, he has shown speed. I think it's a one turn, like you said, a one turn mile and 16th, which could give a little advantage to speed horses to get out before they get to that first turn. That's the only way I can see this horse getting out, but I see this horse not making up any work at the end. Sorry, no pun intended there, John. I said no, can't make up any work.
Yeah. He got 3 turf races, which the long turf race you could see was not his. He sprinted twice and, ran respectable, broke his maiden on the turf. His dirt races down there were horrendous. His one distance race on the turf, horrendous. He ran with some good company. You could see that he ran with Plutarch and Mr. AP, back in the day. But just don't see this horse stretching out to 1.1 miles on the dirt. So moving on to High Camp. Interesting, 3rd-time starter. He broke his maiden last time, $1.20. With Lasix that time. Growth Equity, who he beat, was a highly regarded Chad horse. Had really, good finish. After you watch the replay, it looks like the horse was done. And, all of a sudden just came again. And then when came again, just had a great, finish. Johnny Velasquez worked this horse like in the mornings when they worked at Palmettos all winter long. Johnny V would go there and work the horse. So he knew right from the beginning that this horse, was the dog. Somebody's walking by. Somebody's jogging. That's what happens. Callie.
Good watchdog, John. Good watchdog.
Yeah, good watchdog. So, this horse, 9-2 will probably be on the likes of, more like 3-1. Will Walden, they're bringing this horse maybe along, just right because 83, 85 buyer could step up and improve to a 90. Off that last close, distance will be his friend. So I think the 1.1 miles, should be pretty good. And, definitely one I have highly regarded.
Here, John, I absolutely feel the same way. I love Johnny V staying. Johnny V showing faith with this horse and sticking with that horse. I'm going to stick with the horse too. I think the horse has good breeding. I think the horse certainly, when Johnny V and William Walden hook up together, the last couple races they've had 6 opportunities to get together and they've hit at 50%. So they're hitting good. The number 6, Lock, Stock, and Pharaoh. Don't have this horse on my ticket, but may have to change it because it's an only. Hey, there she is. She or he?
She. I had to hold her so she could stop barking at the people walking by.
Okay, well, hey, no, ask her who she likes. I mean,
she's better than us, Fred. I don't want to get her started. She's better than us.
Lock, Stock, and Pharaoh, the number 6 horse, trained by Thomas Drury and ridden by Eddie Morales. Only mount this horse has. The horse is 2 for 2, highest last rate speed rating. I didn't use this horse on my ticket, but after looking at it a little closer, I think I might change my mind, John.
Might change your mind. Did you include her or no?
Not on my ticket originally, no. But I'm saying, I might have to look at her now. I might have to think about this. Yeah,
she comes from a good family who, had some great at dirt winners going long. So, the breeding is there for the dirt. Just happened that, she started her 2 races at the synthetic. Yep. Tough to leave off because you just don't know the unknown. And did it pretty easily where she was just under wraps and geared down at the end. Had a strong hold the whole race going, 2-turn mile of turfway. So, one that, for the multis, you almost have to include in there because you just don't know. It's just the dirt. See if she can handle that. And if she does, you might get 5-1 on her.
Yep.
Moving on to Incredible. What happened in the Holy Bull? This horse was supposed to be, right there. She won the Street Sense. He won the Street Sense when, actually picked her, back in Churchill, the same race that Sovereignty won as a 2-year-old. And this
Yeah.
horse came running by and did it very impressively. Beat Universe, beat Carson Street, 3-back. So those races, held up. But then what happened in the Holy Bull? We just don't have no answer. But the work tab has been really good. And
Yep.
10-1, second time back off the layoff. Like Riley Mott, like you always say all the time, it's, that breed of owner, trainer, father, son, they don't get them cranked. They got an ultimate goal in mind. This, I'm going to expect a better effort and a stepping stone towards one more final prep, possibly for this horse.
I agree. I think obviously Riley Mott keeps the faith in Torres. Jockey didn't change anything there. So obviously we've seen jockeys who gave horses bad rides and the trainer, decided to put another jockey on it. I don't see that. So that gives me faith that horse certainly has a chance. I used that horse, and I also used the next horse we're going to talk about, the number 8 Confessional. Again, being ridden by Irad Ortiz, so we don't know who's going to be on this horse. I like this horse because I just thought the last race that it raced, of course, Puma was in it, Renegade won, Wayne's Law, etc. I don't think that horse, again, I don't know what happened. They're putting blinkers on the horse, actually putting blinkers back on the horse, which I think Brad Cox does pretty well when he puts them not just on, but putting them back on. Didn't have one, had him on the first 2 races that the horse raced, did well. I'm guessing that had something to do with it. The horse is third off the layoff. I think 4-1. I'm definitely using this horse again on my ticket for sure. I know you are too. Second route race that this horse is running, a mile and 16th. Again, it was 2 turns, not 1 turn. But when it's a second route race, Brad Cox hits at 31%. Not that he needs any more percentages to make you like him. But I think the blinkers back on is a big angle here.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest angle. That those 2 races with blinkers, were fantastic. Throw that out, and that has to be one of the reasons that horse didn't run that well. The mile and 16th, 1 turn, actually, love that. And he was 280 last time against Renegade. I mean, it was basically a match race between Renegade and him. And Renegade held up his end of the bargain, and this horse just, spit it out. So too bad to believe when he was 70 cents on a dollar to nearly
Yes.
comes out of that race and wins the, the Holy Bull. So,
Yep.
You can see how they change like overnight. And got to give this horse a shot with the blinkers back on. Stalking trip, possibly. If not, maybe one of the leaders. And then 1 turn, mile and 16th. He just ran the 2 turns. So he's like sort of turning back a little bit, even though running the distance. Bullet workout last time, one that you have to include. Moving on to Oselli.
Real quick, John, I want to just make a point. So Irad Ortiz is not going to be on the horse, but whoever gets on the horse, I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think the horse is a good horse. Obviously, you want to see a good trainer or a good jockey get put on that horse. I'm sure Brad Cox will do that. But I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
Yep. All right. So moving on to number 9. 9's a little bit of my, sort of trying to be clever. Trying to be clever kind of play. Trying to get a crazy one in here. Everybody's going to probably go deep with about 4 of them. I'm going to try to include this 9 horse. This is a maiden. Ran with, Renegade. And that last race, if you watch it, the Sam F. Davis made a middle move into there and, got into contention and then just, backed out of it. He's had the mile and 16th. This is his 4th time. Now you're cutting back to a 1-turn race.
Sure.
I just think is interesting that, if there's enough speed in the race here, that he's one of the closers that can come running and pick up the pieces. And the long colonial stretch maybe, can help him. But he does, keep, coming every single race. So this is one of those maidens that I think has, compared to the other ones we talked about today,
Sure.
that possibly has, a chance to run on.
I don't really like this horse that much when you make good points that this horse is a maiden, show some speed or show some closing kick, can possibly take advantage of the 1-turn mile on the 16th. Certainly has a chance. 15-1 be great to go into the last leg of the pick 5 with that horse as your top pick or the horse that wins that horse. The number 10 horse, Clocker Special, don't have any real feel for this horse either. Kind of shows some speed in most of the races this horse has been in. Torres is back on for Rodolphe BRISnet. Just missed and got edged out the last time out. I'm not sure that was racing against anybody down at Oakland Park. don't have this on my horse on my ticket. I see he's not on your ticket either, John. I don't know how you want to close out with that horse.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be it might be a speed factor. Might try to zoom out there with Torres, from the outside. The race that he won last time with Lasix, the horses behind him, they came back to regress. Nobody ran good out of that race.
Sure.
They basically regressed 10 buyer points. So if this one does, be back in the 60s. And the buyers, slowly creeping up. Not this time, the hottest sire out there, which you got to respect. And, Rudy BRISnet, second time off the layoff, workout pattern's been okay. But I just think from the outside, the trip has to be forwardly placed, might get hung out, might get, caught up just at, 6-8 to 1. Not for me. I'd take a shot with the others.
Yep. Okay, we got the last race coming up, John. The how are we going to get paid kind of thing. I forget who says that, but you always say it. But how are we going to get paid? Well, we both seem to like the 7 and the 8. I'm going to talk quickly about my horses, the 6 and the 8. We're not going to do a deep dive. The 6 and the 8 are the only two horses who have won at a mile and 16th. And I think, the 6 has won at Colonial. The 8 has won at Colonial. 8 has won many times, but they both have won at Colonial. And the only two horses that have won at a mile and 16th. At Colonial, sorry, at Colonial at a mile and 16th. So, the one-turn mile has some impact on, I think, the value of those horses. And I threw the 6 in there as well. I just like the fact that, I like the fact that I read was getting back on the horse. He's not going to be on the horse. We'll have to see who's on. So I put in the 6, 7, 8, John. I know you put in the 7, 8. So my ticket is 180, John. Close out your ticket with what your price is going to be. And then let's see how you feel about the 7 and the 8 horse, John.
Yeah, when I was switching my ticket all around, I figured out this race. Oh, that dog. Oh, my goodness gracious. Fred's voice or the dog? Which one you prefer?
Probably the dog.
Yeah, so I looked at this race here, and I originally had a number of contenders. I was going to go about 5 deep. But the more I looked at it, this, McLean's Rock, the 7 horse, always right there, stake races. 4 out of 4 dirt surface distance right there. So good buyers, highest in the field. And the 8 horse, just a grizzly old veteran that, first time back as a 9-year-old. He might be asking a lot. Who knows, how he's going to, be his first start. And your other one that you did like there, the 6, was, definitely on my ticket for that. So I thought the buyers were a little light compared to the 7 and 8, and I just took a shot that the 7 is that good, and maybe the 8 as a 9-year-old with 11 total wins. The 6 is your horse has 13 wins, so I mean that's pretty darn good. You look at the whole field here; they don't have 13 combined between all of them, except the 6 and 8.
You're right. Yep.
So just the buyers were a little slower than the 7 and 8. But definitely on par with the rest of them. Tried to get out too deep to make a ticket work, 7 and 8, but the 6, I would also look at the 2 possibly as being a chance. So ticket purposes 7, 8.
Yep, and the note on the 7 horse, in reference to the BRISnet.com, is number 1 prime power plus 10. Again, that puts that in the 56% win range and 5 to 2. Villalobos on the horse for the 4th time has gotten a little better with the horse each time. Or won the first time he was on the horse, then it was 3rd and 2nd, but running some big races. I think this horse has a good shot. But I'm 3 deep as well. My ticket's 180. John, your ticket's 150. We'll be on tomorrow. We want to take a minute, though, first, before we do say goodbye, is thank our sponsors, Case's Pork Roll, been with us from the beginning, along with the Vape Shop, and our newest sponsor, who we're very grateful for the support they give us, BRISnet.com, the Handicappers Edge. Once again, if you have not checked this information out on their handicapping, the value that they provide, the insight they provide, the knowledge they give you that's different than what you get on other handicap sites, we find is invaluable. John, I think you feel the same way.
Yeah, it's good to hear that. Like that last race is a 10-point plus prime power, and that's the race I went short mainly because of that.
Those horses, if they're plus 10, 56% win. So keep that in mind when you're putting your ticket together. check out BRISnet.com. They are the handicapper's edge. And on that note, John, I will see you tomorrow. Good luck tonight and whatever you may be doing. I know you're doing something for sure. And we'll talk more, John. We'll be on tomorrow. You'll be on at 11:30 tomorrow, handling any scratches. I certainly will be trying to do the best I can if something comes up that I think is worth sending your way. In terms of my opinion, if I see a scratch that makes a difference, we'll talk about that. But tomorrow's show will be 11:30, probably a good half-hour show, maybe 20 minutes to a half hour at the most. John's going to be on by himself. I'll be telling people where to go at the parade, the pipers, the floats, etc. It's going to be a nice day tomorrow, and we'll see and talk a little bit more tomorrow, John.
Yep, I will cover the scratches, see if there's any important scratches in the races, and I'll give everybody the update on the Irad Ortiz horses, who the new jockey is, to see how I think it's going to affect the horse, the race, the trainer. So that'll be what we're going to focus on, and see if we need any ticket restructuring based on the scratches. And if anybody wants to shrink either one of our tickets, I think we both agree that the last race, if you want to single, maybe just get to that race and then you could single. That one horse will be a $75 ticket for me, and Fred to be a $60 ticket for Fred. And we both love the +10 prime power, and he does look best on paper. So if anybody wants to shrink the ticket down, play our tickets, maybe singling the this 7 horse. Yep.
So, okay. All right. And on that note, that's important because what you just bring up makes me say this, John. Make sure you cheer hard, bet smart, and make sure fast horses sometimes do equal serious fun. And on that note, John, we'll say let them run. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Enjoy, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, everybody, let them run.
Bye-bye.